Welcome to the Daily Boogie.
Check this one out. This is great stuff from Down Under. You thought privacy was at risk? Well, you'd be right. Nothing to hide. Council set to introduce see-through bins. Ladies and gentlemen. You remember, once upon a time, say, spooks, investigators, feds, and investigative journalists and the like, they used to go through people's bins to, investigate. Yeah, it's amazing what you can find, what you can figure out about a person when you go through their rubbish. I mean, you can figure out their diet, how many kids they may or may not have, where they shop, right? You can tell a lot about a person by what they throw away, not just reading their bills and stuff, which is also a problem. But so that's why investigators used to rummage around in people's bins to try and get some information to build a profile on the person that they're investigating. Private investigators are notorious for it. But now, of course, with modern technology, we can just pluck their text messages and emails out of the sky, no problem. We don't have to rummage through bins like a raccoon. So yeah, the government in Western Australia wants to make see-through bins. Nothing to hide, see-through houses, exactly. Which clothes don't fit anymore. Correct. Just have a look at this little news report here. 26 seconds. It's about all it's worth. Are you going to play for me? Oh, we're not going to play. We don't feel like playing. That's okay.
How would you feel if your neighbours could see what you threw in the bin? Well, by next week, these clear bins will replace green ones in a trial at homes across Perth. Mindarie Regional Council came up with the gimmick.
For those unfamiliar with Australian geography, Perth is literally the most isolated capital city on the face of the earth, right? Let's just bring up a map of Australia with Perth on it. It's the state capital of the state Western Australia. And there isn't another city, a capital city around it. I forget however many thousands of kilometres. Perth, Australia. Map. So we have a theory about people who live in Perth. Okay. There's Perth. All the way over there on the west coast of Australia, and you can see Canberra is right over here on the other side, and there's just ocean around it. So it is the most isolated capital city on the face of planet Earth, and we have a theory here in Australia that makes them a little bit nuts, like, because what's their population? It's quite small, quite a small population for a big city. Well, it's not really a big city. It would be one of the smaller capital cities in Australia, but I can't think of the population off the top of my head. But we think it makes them a little bit nutso because they're all out there on their own. They don't interact with anybody else. They're completely isolated. So they come up with all of these strange little theories, like making clear bins, for example. There's actually, there's a Western Australian Bank of Western Australia, and they run in their commercials, like they'll have the other banks in Australia, like say the ANZ or the Commonwealth Bank, Westpac, and they say in these commercials, don't trust those slimy eastern state banks, Don't trust those easterners. They hate you. It's a great place. It's a great city. I've been there a couple of times. Not for a while, but it's really laid back. The people are really chill, but they are a little bit nuts. Very surfy place. People love surfing and drinking over there. So yeah, clear bins.
Bins will replace green ones in a trial at homes across Perth. Mindarie Regional Council came up with the gimmick to make people think more about how much rubbish they're throwing away. Select homes in Joondalup, Perth, Stirling, Vincent, Wanneroo and Victoria Park will receive the bins. A limited number will be rolled out on Monday, but won't be forced on anyone.
We're not going to force it on you for now. It's just a pilot program. We aren't going to force you to take a clear bin for now. Gunther Hope, Chief Executive of the MRC, told ABC Radio Perth that the bins are intended as conversation starters. Yes. Imagine that. So when you put the rubbish bin out and your neighbour is putting their rubbish bin out, you can start a conversation. Wow, Jim, I had no idea that you drank so much whiskey. Oh, okay. That's incredible. Gee, Doreen, don't you think you've had enough ham this week? Look at this bin. My God. You know, Lucy, I was putting the rubbish bin out this morning and I happened to run into that bachelor who leaves his bin next to ours. Did you know at least a quarter of that bin is filled up with used condoms? Oh, really, Jim? Yes, you wouldn't believe it. That young man is having an incredible amount of sex. Safe sex. I started a conversation with him, of course. That's what these bins are all about. Conversation starters. I think it's a tremendous opportunity to troll. I would almost sign up for a clear bin just to troll my neighbours. Like every single week when it's bin day, I would spend maybe $300 a week on sex toys. I want like big rubber dildos and just have them in the bin, placed specifically on the outside so all the neighbours can see. Because I want the conversation to be not just the amount of sex toys and dildos that that I've got, but the amount that I'm throwing away, and why would I be throwing them out? Imagine every week, like 10 new dildos in the bin. Why is he throwing out all of these dildos? I've got no idea. I would go around the neighborhood and just collect beer cans and just fill up the entire bin with beer cans and then put like one used nappy on top of it. Just one. Put a blow-up doll in it. Exactly. You could get a lot of those. You know, if they want to see my garbage, then it's gonna be like, fuck you, man. There are a lot of those kids' toys these days. For example, like the little, the little dolls that you can feed food to and stuff. A lot of them look like eerily lifelike. Why not just shove one of them in the bin? Fake gun, like a plastic gun. What, are you going to get arrested for throwing something away now? So we'll get a little mannequin. We'll get 10 big rubber dildos, okay, about 20 empty scotch bottles. We'll get a blow-up sex doll. We'll get a little lifelike baby mannequin thing, and we'll get a fake pistol and put it in its hand, and we'll put all of that in the bin. And then we'll stand next to the bin and start a conversation with our neighbours. So, what are you throwing about? Wouldn't you like to know? I think it's a tremendous opportunity to troll. So I want to thank the Western Australian government for having a sense of humour. Faceyourwaste.com. Oh yes, you'll be facing my waste. Trust me. Sensational stuff. A little bit of news from down under. And just one more thing before we go, because some people missed it before. Nothing but hair. That's a great... Human hair. Just fill it up with hair, says Lucifer Sam. That's fantastic.